Elvis Presley died in 1977, leaving a world in shock. This wasn't just the loss of a superstar, it was like the sun suddenly went out on a vibrant, chaotic landscape. People everywhere from the poorest towns to the biggest cities felt it. Elvis wasn't just a singer, he was a bridge between worlds, a musical revolution. To understand why he matters so much, think about music as a big, messy family reunion. Before Elvis, different musical groups were like distant cousins at that reunion, hardly talking to each other. But Elvis came along and started dancing in the middle, blending styles like rock and roll, blues, and country. Elvis didn't just mix these sounds, he made them his own and shared them with everyone. He took the rich musical heritage of America, crafted by people from all walks of life, and put it into a new package. This was more than just music, it was a way to bring people together, to remind us of our shared history and values. In an era when America was torn apart by division and conflict, Elvis offered a message of unity. He sang about love, freedom, and the hope for a better life, themes that crossed racial and social lines. To grasp how groundbreaking Elvis was, consider the world he came from and the world he helped create. Born in Tupelo, Mississippi in 1935, Elvis grew up during a time of great change. The South was still reeling from the scars of the Civil War and the struggles of Reconstruction. The 1950s were a time of both hope and tension, with the civil rights movement gaining momentum while old prejudices lingered. Elvis's music spoke to this complex reality. His voice, raw and emotive, captured the dreams and struggles of ordinary Americans. Elvis didn't just consume this musical heritage, he transformed it. He took blues songs once mostly heard in African American communities and brought them to a wider audience. He added a country twang and a rock and roll beat, creating a sound that was new and exciting. This wasn't just about the music itself, it was about the message it carried. Elvis's songs were about breaking free, about finding joy and meaning in a world that often felt harsh and unforgiving. Think of it this way, if music were a big, colorful tapestry, Elvis was the weaver who took threads from different parts of America and wove them into something entirely new. He didn't just create a new style, he created a cultural phenomenon. Artists like the Rolling Stones, Bruce Springsteen, Nirvana, and Eminem all owe a huge debt to Elvis. His influence isn't just in the music, it's in the way he dared to challenge norms and speak to the heart of the American experience. Elvis's impact goes beyond music. He was a cultural icon, a symbol of the possibilities that America could offer. He showed that someone from a poor, rural background could rise to become a global star. This was a powerful message in itself, especially during a time when social mobility seemed limited. Elvis's success helped pave the way for future generations of artists from diverse backgrounds. However, it's easy to romanticize Elvis today, forgetting the challenges he faced. In the 1950s, his blend of rock and roll and country music was controversial. Some saw it as a threat to traditional values. Yet, Elvis persisted, using his platform to promote understanding and unity. His music became an anthem for those seeking a better future, a future where differences were celebrated rather than feared. In today's fragmented world, where people often retreat into their own echo chambers, Elvis's legacy offers a powerful reminder of the power of music to bring us together. In an age when political and social divides seem deeper than ever, the lessons Elvis taught us are more relevant than ever. His music was a call to remember our shared humanity, to find common ground, and to dream of a better tomorrow. Elvis Presley may be gone, but his music and his spirit live on. He showed us that true art can transcend boundaries, heal wounds, and inspire change. In a world that often feels divided, Elvis's message remains a beacon of hope, a reminder that we are not so different after all. In the 1950s, a unique blend of Southern traditions and modern consumer culture created a new kind of music scene. Elvis Presley, often seen as the king of rock and roll, was at the center of this change. His music mixed the rural sounds of country and gospel with the new, lively energy of rhythm and blues. This mix caught the attention of a wide audience, from small towns to big cities. John Shelton Reed explored this blend in his book, The Enduring South: Subcultural Persistence in a Mass Society. Reed shows how Southern culture, with its strong musical roots, did not disappear but instead transformed. Elvis was a key part of this transformation. He took traditional Southern sounds and made them popular across the whole country. Elvis's rise to fame was not just about music. It was also about how he fit into the new consumer culture of the time. This culture was all about buying and enjoying new products and experiences. Elvis became a symbol of this new way of life. His flashy costumes, energetic performances, and charismatic personality captured the attention of young people who were eager to embrace the latest trends. Elvis's journey started in Memphis, Tennessee. The city was a melting pot of different musical styles, and it was here that Elvis first recorded his famous song, That's All Right. This song showed how Elvis could blend country and blues into something entirely new. It was a hit, and it marked the start of his career. Elvis's early recordings were produced by Sam Phillips at Sun Records. Phillips was a key figure in discovering and promoting Elvis. He saw the potential in this young singer with a unique voice and style. Sam Phillips once said, "I wanted a white boy who could sing like a black man and play like a black man." Elvis fit this bill perfectly. The success of That's All Right was huge. It sold a lot of copies, and it got Elvis noticed by bigger audiences. The song's popularity was a sign of the changing times. People were ready for something fresh and exciting. Elvis's music was that something. It was raw, energetic, and full of emotion. As Elvis's fame grew, so did the attention from the media. Newspapers and magazines started to write about him. One article in the Memphis Commercial Appeal in 1968 highlighted how Elvis had become a cultural icon. The article noted that his influence went beyond music. He was a part of the new mass culture that was taking over America. Television played a big role in Elvis's rise. Shows like the Grand Ole Opry introduced him to a wider audience. But it was his appearance on The Milton Berle Show in 1956 that really put him in the spotlight. His performance was energetic and rebellious, and it captivated viewers. The New York Times reported that Elvis was "The Rock is solid," a phrase that became famous and showed how solid his popularity was. Elvis was not just a singer, he was a symbol for the youth of the 1950s. This was a time when teenagers were starting to have more freedom and their own culture. Elvis's music and style resonated with this new generation. He became a hero to many young people who felt trapped in a world that didn't always understand them. Elvis's appeal to teenagers was noted in articles like the one in Life magazine in 1956. It described how Elvis was a different kind of idol for young people. His music was not just something to listen to, it was a way for teens to express themselves and feel part of something bigger. The 1950s were also a time of growing consumerism. People were buying more goods and enjoying new experiences. Elvis was right in the middle of this trend. His concerts were not just about music, they were events that people wanted to attend and remember. His movies like Love Me Tender made him even more popular and turned him into a global star. Elvis's success was not just about his talent. It was also about how he fit into the new consumer culture. He was marketed as a product, just like any other item in a store. This approach helped him reach an even wider audience. His image was everywhere, on posters, in magazines, and on merchandise. Elvis Presley's rise to fame was a perfect example of how Southern traditions and modern consumer culture could blend together. He took traditional sounds and made them new and exciting. His popularity was fueled by the media and the changing culture of the 1950s. Elvis was more than just a singer. He was a symbol of a new era, one where music, style, and consumerism came together to create something entirely new. Elvis Presley's journey from a small-town boy to a global icon is filled with stories that have become part of pop culture legend. However, behind the glamour and the myths, there were real people and events that shaped his path. This article explores some of these aspects, shedding light on the complexities of Elvis's rise and the forces that propelled him to stardom. One figure who looms large in Elvis's story is Colonel Tom Parker. Many saw Parker as a cynical businessman who manipulated Elvis for profit. While there's truth to this view, Parker's role was more nuanced. He was a shrewd manager who understood the music industry's inner workings. For instance, he kept Elvis in the United States, avoiding tour abroad that could have endangered his career. This decision, though seen as conservative, protected Elvis from potential legal troubles. Parker's strategy was to keep Elvis relevant and safe in a rapidly changing world. Elvis's popularity sparked the rise of fan clubs, groups of devoted fans who would gather, write letters, and share information. These clubs were not just about fandom, they were communities that gave fans a sense of belonging. Chester Morrison's work in The Great Elvis Presley Industry explains how these clubs became a significant part of the Elvis phenomenon. Fans could connect with each other, enhancing their experience of the star they adored. This grassroots movement showed how much Elvis meant to his audience. Elvis was often compared to other iconic figures like James Dean. Both were seen as rebellious youth icons, capturing the spirit of a generation. Critics and scholars have delved into these comparisons, exploring what they say about the cultural moment. Leo Braudy in The Frenzy of Renown examines how fame works, using Elvis and Dean as prime examples. These studies help us understand not just Elvis, but the broader cultural shifts of the time. A pivotal period in Elvis's life was his time in the military. This time away from the spotlight allowed him to grow both personally and professionally. The experiences he had, especially in Germany, shaped him in ways that are detailed in works like Andreas Schroer's Private Presley, The Missing Years. These years were crucial, giving Elvis a new perspective and helping him return to music with renewed energy and maturity. As the 1960s dawned, the music scene was undergoing a radical transformation. The Beatles emerged, and with them, a new era of rock music. Elvis, while still immensely popular, found himself adapting to these changes. His music evolved, blending rock and roll with country and other genres. This evolution was not without its critics, but it also showed Elvis's willingness to grow and experiment. The music industry itself was changing, with new business models and cultural influences at play, as Connie Bruck detailed in When Hollywood Had a King. Elvis's title as the King of Rock and Roll was well-deserved. His impact on music and culture is immeasurable. However, his journey was not just about music. It was about a young man navigating fame, personal struggles, and the pressures of the industry. Works like Guralnick's Careless Love and Nash's Elvis Aaron Presley offer deep dives into these aspects of his life. They reveal a complex individual who was both a product of his time and a shaper of it. Elvis's legacy extends far beyond his music. He influenced countless artists and continues to inspire new generations. The way he broke racial barriers in music is particularly noteworthy. Elvis's willingness to perform and record with African American artists was groundbreaking. This openness helped pave the way for greater integration in the music industry. In the end, Elvis Presley's story is more than just the tale of a musical genius. It's a story of ambition, struggle, and the power of music to connect people. Behind the myth, there was a real person with dreams, fears, and a profound impact on the world. Understanding these layers helps us appreciate Elvis not just as a legend, but as a complex human being who changed the course of history.